think I really need a t-shirt that says, I didn't choose the content creator life. The content creator life chose me. Because, I really didn't ask for any of this. I just wanted to teach drums and play drums, and then all this stuff just happened. Hey guys, it's Christal. You might not have seen any new videos from me popping up on your feed for a while because for the past couple months, I've actually been taking a break from creating YouTube videos. A little bit of context for those of you who might be new here. About 2 years ago, I started teaching privately in my studio over here. And at the same time, I started to post a bit more regularly on social media channels like YouTube and Instagram. So on YouTube, I think I've been posting one video every 2 weeks, at least for the past 2 years or thereabouts, maybe a bit before that. I can't actually remember when I started that schedule, but it does take quite a bit of work and effort to come up with a whole full-length video every 2 weeks, and it can be a bit tiring sometimes. The past couple months or this year, my teaching also picked up a bit, and then I had a couple more gigs, so I did post some gig videos, and I just needed a little bit more time to focus on that. So I just decided to take a break from making YouTube videos because I'm my own boss. I can take a break when I want to. I was somewhat inspired by a video that my friend Wei Long from Art of Drumming HQ posted a couple months back, I think, where he did a little experiment of posting one video every day for 30 days. And I didn't want to be quite so extreme, so I decided to post one video every other day for 30 days. And I started that since October, and now it is the first week of November, and I figured that this would be a good time for me to share a little bit of what happened at the end of the experiment, and also, more interestingly, hopefully, some of my thoughts on short-form content and YouTube Shorts. But first, what actually happened in that month of posting shorts? I have a bit of a disclaimer. I didn't actually create any new content for this. I was just repurposing old Instagram content, and I just took the slightly more polished videos off Instagram, or the slightly more well-received ones, those that actually got a significant number of views on Instagram, and then I scheduled them on YouTube, one every other day, and then I just ignored YouTube for a while until this month where I came back and had a look at what was happening. So I don't think the exact numbers are that important, but generally speaking, I got 80% more views in the past month than the previous month. Watch hours increased a little bit. I wouldn't say it was terribly significant. Subscribers also increased a little bit. When I say increased, I mean they increased more than the previous 30-day period. Something like that in comparison. So essentially, it just gave me a lot more eyeballs and a little bit more of subscribers, a little bit more watch time. But again, that is not the main point of this video. I think it really boils down to what we think of as the main functions of YouTube long-form content versus the function of short-form content. The main thing about YouTube and what has differentiated it from a lot of the other social media content platforms out there is that it's essentially a search engine. And for me, there are two kinds of creators that I would watch the content of on YouTube. The first is when they're answering a question that I need help with, because YouTube is essentially just a huge search engine of videos. And when we want to find the answer to something, we can type it in and then we look for answers. And I think that is the main draw of YouTube videos. The second type of creator I would follow are people whose personalities I enjoy. And they might not even be involved in anything that I personally am doing. They might not be drummers or musicians, but if I just enjoy their personality and how they present themselves, how they engage with whatever their passion is, watching those kinds of people create content and just do what they love doing can be incredibly inspiring. So those are also a kind of creator that I would follow and watch on YouTube. Short form content, on the other hand, is completely not search engine based. It is very much based on entertainment and the algorithm. Like, we all have heard that way too much if you're anywhere involved in content creation. To me, when I think of someone actively engaging in short form content, they are probably just bored and wanting to be entertained. That is not by any means meant to be a judgment, that's just an observation. I'm probably as prone to doom scrolling as the next person. I do have my moments where I'm just scrolling through videos of cute animals. You know how it is. But I also recognize that doing that for hours at a time is probably not going to get me any closer to achieving the goals I have in my life, unless my goal is just to relax, which is also fair. Now, the thing is, this is a bit of a different thing from what I want out of the content that I'm creating. If we think about YouTube as a platform for long form content, it's quite a different beast altogether from short form content because no one uses a search function for short form content. They kind of just let the platform and the algorithm decide what they're going to be seeing. So to me, this creates a little bit of dissonance between the creator and the platform, depending on what the goal of the creator is. So for me personally, I'm a music teacher, I'm a drum teacher, and when I create content, it's because I want to inspire someone to get better at their instrument or just to get better at whatever it is that they want to do in their life. My goal is not to get you to scroll to the next video. If you watch a video of mine and that causes you to put your phone down and go practice the drums, I think I've made more of a difference than if that causes you to go in a rabbit hole of watching videos for the next 5 days or something. So I do feel like there is some tension between the goals of the creator and the goals of the platform. The other thing is that because of the short form nature of the content, you are not going to get to know a lot of the creator's personality in 60 seconds. And chances are they are just trying to impress you in that 60 seconds and get your attention. And it's not really who they are. Whereas when you watch a video that's 15 minutes, 20, 30 minutes of someone talking to you like they would talk to your friend, naturally you're going to understand them in a much deeper way than if they are effectively making an elevator sales pitch to you. So at this point, I'd like to do a little bit of a test. If you are a recent subscriber and you remember subscribing to me because of a short video that you watched, it was probably a church drum cam kind of video. If you are one of those people who actually subscribed because of a short video that you saw on your feed somewhere, and you're actually here watching this video, please leave a comment below. I would love to know if there's even one person who subscribed from shorts who's actually watching a long form video, because my hypothesis is there's not going to be very many, if any at all. Probably those of you who watched this are those of you who already followed me for some time and already enjoy the longer form content that I've been making, and you've kind of got a handle on my personality, or you've been supporting my journey as a creator and a drummer and an educator over these years, and that's why you're still here. So this is why I struggle so much with putting short form content on YouTube as well, especially in the beginning when it was combined together with all the videos on the same tab. So YouTube has just recently, in the past 2 weeks, at least in my country, separated the videos tab and the shorts tab into different sections on the channel, and this has been the best thing that they've done regarding shorts in the past couple months or so. I think this works really well for both creators and consumers because sometimes when you look up a channel, you just want to look for their long form videos, or if you're someone who enjoys watching short form content, maybe you just want to see someone's short form videos, which I will also say takes a whole different skill set to do well. I still don't know if it's the right path for me. If you recall earlier, I mentioned that for me, YouTube basically fulfills its function as a search engine to answer your questions, as well as a sort of database of users whom you can follow if you enjoy who they are for their personality and what they do. So as a creator, when I'm making long form videos, I try and have them fit into one of those two categories. So for example, my worship drumming tutorials or any other drum cover videos that are more educational in nature, as well as kind of teaching videos that are more topic oriented, those are to feed the search engine. The second category is more of these personal type of talking videos where I'm just communicating to those of you who enjoy following my journey and hopefully being inspired by what I'm doing. And those are these kind of more vlog almost type videos. I don't know a better way to put it. On the side of the short form content, I started out posting that more on Instagram. And okay, the other thing about short form content that I didn't mention earlier is that short form content tends to be ephemeral, if that's the right word. Short form content doesn't last very long. Probably the lifespan of a post on Instagram is maybe 2 weeks. If it goes viral, at most a couple months. After that, it's just buried in masses of data and the latest things that are taking over your feed. So because of that, they're very transient. That's the word I was looking for. Because of that, it becomes easier to post things of somewhat lower quality. It becomes easier to post things that are more personal and less polished, more to give people some insight into what I'm doing in my everyday life, rather than to give them something that they would actually search for and have their questions be answered. So my Instagram kind of content is basically my church drum camp videos where I write commentary on what my thought process behind certain moments in services are, because I think that's something that's kind of lacking. We can see drum covers of parts, but we don't really know why people are playing certain parts. And yeah, I just like giving people that behind the scenes sneak peek into a little small clip of a service. They probably don't actually need to see the whole 30 minutes of the service, or they wouldn't want to. Or if they did, they might not understand anything that's going on in that 30 minutes. So I think it's useful to draw out a short clip where something interesting happened and then draw people's attention to certain things that were happening in that particular snippet. The other types of posts I do on Instagram might be just like some groove ideas, short educational things, or just practice snippets, which are kind of unfiltered ideas that I have while I'm playing. And that's not meant to impress anybody. It's half the time not really that great. And I'm putting it out there just to show people that this is me, this is where I'm at, to just keep things real. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm completely still a work in progress. I'm just learning and growing like everyone else. And all I want from those little clips is just to inspire people to just remember to practice. That's pretty much it. But on YouTube, on the other hand, I don't know, it feels a bit wrong. It's kind of like wearing flip-flops into a really posh hotel. Even if they don't kick you out, it just feels like you're not matching the dress code. Like if I post really unpolished stuff on YouTube, I think that definitely there is a huge segment of the YouTube user base that's not on Instagram who might be interested in some of the short form content that I produce for that, especially the worship drumming stuff, which is what I started posting. Also to let some of you guys know that when we play songs in a live service, it can be quite different from the parts on the album version, because on my YouTube channel, I post a lot of worship drumming tutorials where I'm basically trying to highlight the original drum part for the purposes of learning, but I can pretty much guarantee you that actually 100% of the time, I don't do that in a service. It just is a completely different thing. So I think it's useful for some of you guys to see that content, but on the other hand, like I'm just looking through the YouTube app on my phone, and when I look through the Shorts tab, I actually don't see anyone that I have subscribed to. Like, it's just showing me a whole bunch of different shorts from various creators all over the world. None of them are from people that I've actually subscribed to. So I don't actually know if shorts are showing up that much from people you subscribe to, or is it just because the creators I subscribe to don't create a lot of shorts and maybe they're time-based, so they only show stuff created in the past couple days? I have no idea. I have not spent enough time browsing the shorts shelf to find out. But I think overall, shorts are geared towards discovery. So if you hit the jackpot on the algorithm and you suddenly skyrocket to a couple 100,000, 10,000 views, you're gonna notice a couple things. And one is that you'll probably get a higher dislike to like ratio on your videos. And that's not because people are hating on you specifically. That's because your video is being shown to just like random people who don't know you, and the algorithm doesn't know you. They don't know exactly what's in your video or exactly what those people like. And when people press the dislike button, a lot of times it's just because they're telling the algorithm, I don't want to see this. Why is it showing up in my app? It can be a little bit traumatic the first couple of times that happens, but don't take it personally. Eventually, the people that appreciate what you're doing are going to show up. The other thing is you might get a lot of negative comments, or at least a few, again, for similar reasons. It's a wholly different thing when you're searching for content, because if you actually are looking for the answer to a particular question, I don't know, I just feel like people will just ignore a video if it doesn't answer their question and just move on to the next one. The only reason why they would dislike it is if it was really poorly made, but for the most part, you just kind of move on with your life. But with shorts, it's so much easier to just dislike something. The other thing about shorts is that it's so hard to title them because, I don't know, it's just weird putting titles. Maybe I'm not used to it because on platforms like Instagram and TikTok, you don't actually have to title your videos. But on YouTube, you do. And then, I don't know, it feels like you have to be kind of clickbaity to make the titles work. The other thing is that nobody really reads the descriptions because they're so out of the way in the YouTube shorts. So you kind of need to put all the content you want to convey into the video. I'm not sure where I was going with that last part, but essentially, shorts are good for discovery. It expands your reach a lot. But at the moment, I don't know if that is going to transfer over to the long form content that much. Or is YouTube just going to be a kind of all-in-one platform where the same creator can create long-form content and short-form content for essentially what is going to be two different communities? I have no idea, but I guess we'll find out. I just kind of stoned there for an entire minute, and I'm just going to cut that out in post because you don't need to see me staring blankly into space. As usual, that was a slightly long-winded ramble on shorts and short-form content. Let me know what your thoughts on this topic are. Do you watch shorts? Do you make them if you're a creator? Or do you prefer long-form content? What do you think the world is coming to with us being stuck to our smartphones and scrolling into infinity? Let me know. Let's have a conversation. See you guys in the next one.